Blue Exorcist is finally back after a year-long break, and this was honestly a very short but also a very nice chapter to come back to as we continue from where the last chapter left off at. Now, if you guys don't remember, or if you're all new to the channel, I actually used to review Blue Exorcist monthly for a few months until the break came out of nowhere for me, thus me not covering it on the channel at all over the last year. But now Blue Exorcist has finally come back, and I honestly am so happy, because this is one of my favorite manga of all time, and I do want to share this with you guys. I want to bring back these monthly reviews for Blue Exorcist, and I want to try and do some other Blue Exorcist type videos in between, at least once a month also, just so I can keep the Blue Exorcist hype alive, because this is honestly a really great series, and you guys should all really check it out, as it is honestly something very special, and I just want to share this with everyone. But yeah, before we get into the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter and Instagram to see what I'm up to and when I post videos and other topics, or just to see whatever else I'm doing at the time. Now, with all that said and done, let's hit that intro and get started with the review. So chapter 133 of Blue Exorcist, titled Of One Cloth, Flutter, starts off where we left off last chapter. Chapter 132, where Rin crashes down in front of Satan and essentially declares war on him, and also just kind of says that his outfit looks kind of lame. This chapter starts off directly after that with Satan saying, "Lame outfit?" Well, I don't like it either, as he hits Rin with some big flame explosions to knock him back. And this is honestly one giant ass blue flame explosion that he uses to knock Rin back and away from him. And that's honestly a really big sense of scale, as it's essentially the same size of the giant octopus demon that Satan's kind of using as like a throne and bodyguard. And Satan just goes on to say, "Look kid, you don't get it. I have the power to destroy everyone here in an instant." And Rin does think a bit and questions it. Why don't you do it already? As he's trying to use his role as a decoy to keep Satan busy for Yukio and the rest of the X-Squires to make it towards Satan to actually manage to hurt him and possibly defeat him, as they planned out a few chapters ago. So Rin wants to try and draw Satan's attention as much as possible. Now this chapter is basically all Rin versus Satan, with a few things sprinkled in between by the end of the chapter. Rin lunges towards Satan with his blue flame sword, but Satan catches it, or more like he actually blocks it without even touching it, as he explains why he doesn't just straight up destroy everyone here, right now, because we do know how strong Satan is, and right now he's not even trying. He just states, because it'd be too easy and boring if I just destroyed everyone outright. As he then, from what I can tell from the panel, pulls Rin's hands apart from each other and literally just asks Rin, "So, want to help me have some fun?" As Rin then basically uses flamethrower on Satan head on. Now I honestly don't remember if Rin has ever done this before, but since he's basically unlocked most of his full-on pure demon power, pure satanic power, it makes a whole lot more sense that he's able to create flames out of anywhere, and a concentrated flame like that, it's going to do some damage. But Satan just brushes it off, just says, "Well, that was a little interesting," as Rin goes forward towards Satan again as he continues to try and make attacks. And we then cut back to Lightning's group as Arthur, one of the knights, one of the paladins that took Fujimoto's place, is charging in through this den of demons, stating again how much he thinks it's a mistake to let Rin be the one to take on Satan first, as Lightning, along with some of the other branches of the Exorcist Union, state that there are too many of these demons and they're all mid-level and higher, and that they're holding all of them back. Lightning mocks the King of Insects, stating that why can't he just go on ahead of them since he can fly, but the King of Insects just says, "You want me to go and face my father head on? I'm the weakest out of all the kings. You're crazy." As then Lucy comes in and brings up a solution for them. She does an enchantment to summon forth a big black smoked creature in order to aid them, and it is revealed to be a giant dragon demon. Actually then commands it to bring forth a black fog to help them in their fight. And this leads to a nice giant 2-page spread of this black dragon using a black fog against the demons that are in their way. And in the aftermath of this, the demons that are hit with this black fog end up seemingly getting confused, and they begin to attack and cannibalize each other, which is something really cool. So this dragon called Heilong, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, is very loyal to Lucy, and it's able to confuse demons that aren't high level. And I agree with Lightning here. Dragons are just so damn cool. We then cut back to Ren and Satan's battle, as Ren continues to try and use his sword to deal damage to Satan, but Satan, without even budging, manages to block it with his sheer presence alone. As he yawns, stating, "What are you even doing, kid?" And he then knocks Ren back, as Ren also states that he hasn't even been able to land a single blow on him, showing, like I stated in my last video, how Ren isn't ready yet to actually take on Satan. I know he's a distraction, but the fact that he couldn't have landed a single hit on him during this whole interaction so far just shows how far apart the two of them are. But Rin then reiterates he can't let Satan get bored. And the reason for that is that if he does, he might actually end up noticing their plan. He might notice Yukio somehow. He might notice his friends and focus his attention on them. Or he'll just get way too bored and just be like, you know what, I'm not having fun anymore. With a snap of his fingers, he'll just wipe all the exorcists off the map. So, yeah, that's honestly something that I do see coming. But Rin gets ready to charge up a Satan slash right at Satan. And just like that, this octopus seemingly just lets Satan go, as the Satan slash just hits Satan square in the face, as this actually ends up being the first real blow that was dealt to Satan. And we're all kind of happy along with Rin as he actually managed to land a blow on this seemingly untouchable creature. But this was probably all luck or something going on with that octopus thing. Maybe it was just spooked by Rin's slash attack. I don't know. But we can find out in the next chapter. We then see that Yukio and the rest are observing the situation from afar as they are trying to come up with a good strategy to take down Satan. And honestly, I just like seeing the X-Wires just have their little mini conversations. Shima is literally like really upset and discouraged at the fact that he wishes that he could use the black flames that Lucy's using with Heilong, Dragon Demon, the way she can. And he really wishes it was a lot better. As Konokomuro just states that, well, I really wanted to see an Arc Knight in action these days. And Shima's just like, we can barely see anything. But then Yukio tells them that he found the perfect place to land their sneak attack, at the top of the crags that he's pointing to as the chapter ends. Now, usually Blue Exorcist chapters are, well, a lot longer, as they're usually around 30-ish pages, if not 40. So that this is relatively short, and it does kind of make a bit of sense, as this is the first chapter that we have gotten in a whole year, and the mangaka was working on an entirely different manga, which was an adaptation of a very popular novel, so it makes a lot of sense why this chapter was relatively short. We basically got a reintroduction of this whole situation that we've had for this entire arc. We basically have Rin versus Satan for basically the whole chapter. We have setup of how the top-ranking exorcist and the knights, the Arc Knights, managed to turn the situation of all these mid-level and high-level demons to essentially help alleviate their forces from all the stress and all of the overbearing numbers. And we also got Yukio and Yukio's group getting ready to set their plan and sneak attack into motion. What do I think is going to happen next chapter? Well, this is one big giant war, but thankfully we don't have a shit ton of characters in different locations, so we only really have about 3, maybe 4 different perspectives in this whole arc. One is Rin's perspective as he's going toe-to-toe with Satan, and he just landed a hit on him, so maybe Satan will get pissed off and actually try a little bit in this fight, pushing Rin further and further back as Rin continues to try and move forward. And we might actually see Rin starting to adjust and hold his own, maybe even use some stronger flames and concentration or whatever to fully bring out his demonic half, his demonic power more and more during the fight, which could also yield some risks of his demon side taking full control. Next up are the Arc Knights as they battle their way through this whole battlefield, so they could end up encountering and taking on the different demon kings of Gehenna. And there are about 5. Now, I do think that we're going to see Arthur taking on maybe Lucifer, but that's still up in the air on who's going to take this guy down. Lucifer's already very strong, but his body is incredibly weak as it is breaking down. So we'll just have to wait and see. And maybe they'll meet up with Rin to take on Satan if they manage to take on these demon kings. And lastly, we have Yukio's group, who have just now found a good spot to try and do something to land their sneak attack on Satan. But yeah, that was the chapter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to start doing Blue Exorcist more consistently throughout the year as we get more chapters every single month. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. Also, don't forget to check out my Patreon and Ko-fi accounts if you want to support the channel more directly, as I do want to get more larger videos out, aside from my weekly and now monthly chapter reviews. And overall, just leave your thoughts and opinions down below on what do you think is going to happen next, with your theories and speculations down below. And with all that's said and done, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.